What if the strongest military fortress isn't built above ground, but hidden deep inside a mountain? For decades, military planners around the world have believed that burying critical weapons beneath hundreds of meters of solid rock could protect them from almost any conventional airstrike. The deeper the facility, the greater the chance it could survive even the most advanced bombing campaign. That idea shaped one of Iran's most ambitious military projects. Over the years, Iran invested heavily in constructing an extensive network of underground missile complexes, often referred to by analysts as missile cities. These facilities were designed to protect ballistic missiles, launch vehicles, command centers, and logistical support systems from aerial attack. Built inside mountains and reinforced with layers of concrete and rock, they represented a key part of Al-Qaeda's term deterrence strategy. But recent military developments have sparked a much larger question. Can underground fortresses still provide the protection they once promised? Or has modern precision warfare fundamentally changed the equation? Today, we'll examine why Iran built these facilities, how advances in American bunker-minus penetrating weapons have reshaped military planning, and why defense analysts around the world are paying close attention to what this could mean for future conflicts. To understand the significance of these underground bases, we first need to go back more than 3 decades. The turning point came during the Gulf War. Military leaders across the Middle East watched as coalition air power systematically dismantled Iraq's conventional military infrastructure. Command centers, radar sites, ammunition depots, and armored formations were destroyed with remarkable speed through precision-guided airstrikes. For Iran, the lesson was difficult to ignore. Military assets left exposed on the surface could become vulnerable long before they had a chance to be used. If strategic forces were expected to survive the opening phase of a modern conflict, they would need far greater protection than traditional military bases could provide. Instead of competing directly with larger air forces, Iran gradually focused on developing a strategy built around ballistic missiles and hardened underground infrastructure. Missiles could serve as a long-range deterrent, while deeply buried facilities offered a way to preserve those capabilities even during sustained air campaigns. Over time, what began as a defensive engineering project evolved into one of the largest underground military construction efforts in the region. Satellite imagery released over the years revealed tunnel entrances carved into mountainsides, reinforced access roads, and support facilities spread across multiple locations. While many operational details remain classified, open-source intelligence suggests these complexes were intended to support missile operations even under wartime conditions. For years, many defense analysts believed these underground bases significantly complicated any attempt to neutralize Iran's missile force through conventional air power alone. The assumption would eventually become one of the most important questions facing military planners not only in Washington, but across the world. Iran's expanding underground network presented a challenge that went far beyond simply locating missile sites. The real question was whether any conventional weapon could actually reach them. For years, the answer remained uncertain. The United States already possessed specialized bunker-penetrating bombs, including the GBU-28 Bunker Buster, a weapon originally developed during the Gulf War to destroy reinforced command bunkers. Against underground facilities protected by concrete and soil, it proved highly effective. But mountains are a very different obstacle. Military engineers understood solid rock absorbs and disperses explosive energy far more effectively than reinforced concrete. As intelligence assessments increasingly pointed to Iranian facilities buried deep inside mountainous terrain, planners began asking whether existing weapons were still sufficient. That challenge eventually led to the development of an entirely new class of conventional weapon. The result was the GBU-57 Massive Ordnance Penetrator, often referred to simply as the MOP. Weighing roughly 30 pounds, it remains one of the largest conventional precision-guided bombs ever developed by the United States. Unlike traditional bombs that maximize blast effects above ground, the GBU-57 was engineered with a different objective. Its hardened steel casing allows it to survive an extremely high speed impact before continuing to drive through layers of earth, reinforced concrete, or rock. Only after reaching a predetermined depth does its delayed fuse activate the main explosive charge. In simple terms, the weapon is designed to destroy what lies beneath the surface rather than what can be seen from above, delivering a bomb of this size. However, presents another challenge. Only one operational aircraft has been publicly identified as capable of carrying the GBU-57, the Northrop B-2 Spirit. Designed around stealth technology, the B-2 was built to penetrate heavily defended airspace while carrying exceptionally large payloads over intercontinental distances. Its combination of low radar observability, long range, and heavy payload capacity makes it uniquely suited for missions involving hardened underground targets. For defense planners, this pairing represented more than just a new bomb mounted on an existing aircraft. It reflected decades of investment in a specialized capability intended for one of the most difficult target sets in modern warfare. Even so, possessing the weapon did not automatically guarantee success. The effectiveness of any bunker-minus penetrating strike depends on several factors, including the accuracy of intelligence, the geological composition of the target area, the depth of the facility, and the precision of the weapon itself. Deep underground structures remain among the most complex targets any military can attempt to engage. This is why analysts have long argued that striking hardened facilities is not simply a matter of dropping a larger bomb. It is the result of combining intelligence collection, advanced engineering, precision navigation, and carefully coordinated mission planning. And according to publicly available reports, those capabilities would soon face one of their most significant real-world tests. After years of development, the real question was no longer whether the United States possessed the technology to target deeply buried facilities. The question was whether that capability would ever be used. That moment appeared to arrive amid rising tensions across the Middle East. Following a series of regional confrontations involving Iranian-backed groups, Washington faced increasing pressure to respond in a way that extended beyond limited retaliatory strikes. According to publicly available reports, one objective of the operation was to demonstrate that even heavily fortified underground infrastructure could no longer be assumed safe simply because it was hidden beneath layers of rock. Open source reporting indicates that Northrop B- to Spirit bombers were employed during the mission, designed for long range strategic operations. The aircraft can fly intercontinental distances while maintaining a low radar signature, allowing them to approach heavily defended areas with a reduced chance of detection. Their payload made them uniquely suited for one of the most difficult target sets in modern warfare. Unlike conventional airstrikes that focus on destroying buildings or surface infrastructure, missions against hardened underground facilities require extraordinary precision. Intelligence analysts must first determine the approximate depth, layout, and structural design of the target. Mission planners then calculate the optimal impact point, angle of attack, and weapon sequence before an aircraft ever leaves the runway. Even small errors in those calculations can dramatically reduce the effectiveness of the strike. The weapon itself follows an equally specialized process. After release from high altitude, the bomb accelerates rapidly toward its designated aim point. Instead of detonating on impact, its reinforced casing is designed to absorb the enormous forces generated by striking rock at extremely high speed. Only after penetrating deep beneath the surface does the delayed fuse initiate the explosion. Military analysts have also noted that multiple bunker-penetrating weapons can be employed in carefully timed succession, rather than relying on a single detonation. Each impact may deepen the penetration path, allowing subsequent weapons to reach greater depths than would otherwise be possible. While many operational details remain classified, post-strike assessments based on satellite imagery and other open-source intelligence have fueled widespread debate about the effectiveness of the mission. Some analysts argue that the strikes demonstrated a significant advance in conventional deep-strike capability, while others caution that the full extent of any damage remains difficult to verify without direct access to the targeted sites. That uncertainty is not unusual. In modern warfare, governments rarely release complete battle damage assessments immediately after complex operations. An independent verification often takes weeks or even months. Yet regardless of differing conclusions about the physical results, one outcome was immediately clear. The operation reignited a global discussion about the future of underground military infrastructure. For decades, deeply buried facilities were widely viewed as one of the most reliable methods of protecting strategic assets from conventional attack. Today, that assumption is being re-examined by defense planners far beyond the Middle East, because the implications of this debate extend well beyond a single country or a single military operation. The significance of these developments extends far beyond Iran itself. For decades, military planners around the world have invested enormous resources in underground infrastructure. From missile storage facilities and command centers to aircraft shelters and logistics hubs, building beneath layers of rock has long been considered one of the most reliable ways to protect critical assets from air attack. Recent events have not necessarily invalidated that strategy, but they have forced many governments to reconsider its limitations. The reality is that military technology never stands still. As defensive engineering becomes more sophisticated, offensive capabilities evolve alongside it. Precision-guided weapons, advanced sensors, satellite reconnaissance, artificial intelligence, and long-range strike platforms continue to reshape the balance between protection and vulnerability. History has repeatedly shown that every major defensive breakthrough is eventually met by an equally determined effort to overcome it. That is why many defense analysts believe the recent debate is about more than a single operation. It represents another chapter in the long minus-running competition between fortification and precision strike, a competition that has defined military innovation for generations. The implications reach well beyond the Middle East. Countries that rely on hardened underground facilities as part of their national defense are undoubtedly studying these developments closely. Military planners will likely examine not only the performance of modern bunker-penetrating weapons, but also the intelligence, surveillance, and mission planning required to locate and engage deeply buried targets. At the same time, underground infrastructure isn't likely to disappear. Even the most advanced conventional weapons face practical limitations, and no military can assume that every hardened facility can be neutralized quickly or with complete certainty. For that reason, underground construction will almost certainly remain an important element of national defense planning. The difference is that future facilities may need to become deeper, more dispersed, better concealed, and increasingly supported by deception, mobility, and electronic warfare rather than relying on physical protection alone. In many ways, this reflects a broader trend in modern conflict. Success is no longer determined solely by the size of an army or the number of missiles in an arsenal. Increasingly, it depends on information, intelligence, precision, and the ability to adapt faster than a potential adversary. Whether recent operations ultimately reshape military doctrine remains a question that only time can answer. But one conclusion already appears difficult to ignore. The era when underground facilities were widely viewed as untouchable is giving way to a far more complex reality, one in which protection and precision continue to evolve side by side. And as that competition accelerates, military planners from Washington to Tehran, from Beijing to Moscow, will almost certainly continue searching for the next technological advantage. Because in modern warfare, today's breakthrough rarely remains unmatched for long. If you enjoyed this analysis and would like to see more in-depth coverage of military technology, global security, and defense strategy, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.